Hey, I'm Scott, and here's me and Mark just talking.
Yeah, dude, like I got bitten by a mosquito yesterday and like my whole hand's like
Oh man,
I had
swollen.
half of yeah, I'm allergic, so every time I get a mosquito bite it gets like freaking like that big wherever it is.
Hmm,
It's I've never been bitten on my finger, so it's like right here and then it's weird, it's a circle.
hmm.
Like yeah,
It's a big one,
anyway.
nasty. Mark, where do you live?
Currently in San Diego, California, part of the city called Spring Valley.
That's pretty foodie your area. Okay, not pretty
Um
foodie, but it's from what you've told me at least. It seems like there's good eating, there's good street food, there's good restaurants. It's quite vibrant culinary.
Yeah, there's well we're sort of known for Mexican food and our own brand of Mexican food really. But you can get either really. And then if you really want legit Mexican food, you drive an extra 15 minutes down to, you know, Tijuana, Mexico, get some really good food down there.
Hmm. Like being so close to the border, there's a lot of fusion. I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, like you could I guess call it sort of westernized, but I feel like it's still closer to authentic Mexican food than say Tex-Mex would be. Tex-Mex is more, I would say, more westernized.
Okay.
Although although I don't know if is Mexico considered a Western country as well? I'm not sure.
Well, it's on the continent.
Yeah, it
But
is,
I
isn't it?
guess I don't know. I guess
Yeah,
culinary wise, it seems there's a distinct line though, right, between if you think of it
yeah.
as a whole.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I guess that's what I meant too. Which is
Um,
what I'm eating right now. It's called carne asada nachos or chips, and it's basically tortilla chips with carne asada meat. There's pico de gallo, cheese, guacamole, sour cream, all of which I've eaten all of already. So all I have left is like chips and meat and cheese.
nice. I've got some Monterey Jack, just melted with a bit of guacamole. I have. You're gonna have to because you know a fair bit about hot sauces. You've watched some
Kind of,
channels.
kind of. Yeah, I watched the show. Hot Ones. I'm sure a lot of people watch it.
Is that going out of its way to be a reactionary video? Is that getting painfully hot sauces and people to eat them on camera for the sake of burning reaction?
Yeah, but at the same time, they picked a very good host of the show. He has a very good interviewing style. He does a lot of research on every guest on the show. A lot of times they'll be surprised at how much information they know about them. When
Right. I guess maybe they thought they were coming on to a fluffy interview.
yeah, but don't get it wrong. Like it's legit hot toward the end. There is fair warning, but almost every guest on the show like can barely handle the heat at the end of it.
Talk me through the skulls. I don't really know the rating system with how hot something is. I'm holding something in my hand, which I'll talk about in a bit, but
Mm.
just this description is saying hottest pepper, X amount of skull, but it means nothing to me because what's a
Uh,
thousand skull and what's a million skull?
A thousand Scoville, I believe. I think a jalapeno is about 3,000 Scoville. So the best way to kind of figure out how hot something is to compare it to something else, right? Something
Right.
everyone's pretty much familiar with. So a jalapeno, I believe, is yeah. So jalapeno Scoville units probably somewhere between 2,500 to 8,000, right? And like something like a habanero, a bird's eye chili, like a Thai chili, that's
Hmm.
about 300,000, right? So yeah, the difference between a jalapeno and a habanero is pretty stark. Is that the right word to use there?
Hmm.
And then once you start getting into the super hot and like habanero, Scotch bonnets, Thai chilies, they're roughly like I said 300,000. That's like my heat threshold right there. That's like I'm already that's I can't go much beyond that. I mean I can,
What are
but
those? Name me some of those sauces, as you were at that
the
level.
one I brought today, it's habanero from a company called El Yucateco, and that's from Mexico, from the Yucatan. I believe that's where
And
the
what's that
word
skull level?
about 300,000. Let me confirm that
Mark,
though.
you You're scaring me because the one here says a blistering 1.58 million Scoville units of heat.
1.58.
Yes, million.
Yes, that'll be like 3 times hotter than what I'm currently eating.
Because here's the thing I have with hot sauces because I don't really follow these scales. Every time I buy one, I just pick one that kind of looks cool from the shelf, and quite often it's just a decent hot sauce flavor, but hasn't got much heat to it.
Yeah. Do you mind telling me what you got there?
I have Hellfire hot sauce picante.
Okay.
Fear
First
this,
off, it's called Hellfire.
but they all have a hard name. They're all red.
Uh,
They're all red packaging with a flame.
well, the ones that like go out of their way to make it sound like they're really really hot are usually trying to go really hot. And from what I understand, the ones that are like purposefully done to be super hot, most of them are just done for the sake of being hot and don't really care too much about the flavor. There's a website called Heatonist, right? It's a play on words for hedonist, right? And it's the company that jointly does those hot ones videos. So if it's on this website, it's probably like legit hot. That's why my reaction was, oh. And on a scale of 1 to 10, what you have in your hand now is a 9.
Is a nine. Oh,
Yeah.
that's. I think I've gone
So
too far too soon.
here's the
I
thing,
guess I was
like,
hoping this was going to be around a 6 or a 7, as it were. They should just rate it like
no.
that. This is my problem with the million Skullfire. Just rate it 1 to 10.
Well, just what's the highest heat that you generally can handle? Like, can you like I'm guessing you've had Thai chilies in the past,
Yes,
and how
but
much of
that's
the
like so when I've had those, I've had them in like a sort of soup based thing. So
yeah.
initially it's fine. It's just it feels like if I just ate one as a part of a hard meal, I'd be all right. But there's something that is stewing in the soup. It's
Well,
I can
I
finish
would,
it, but it's a hard finish. It stops being
yeah,
enjoyable for the last few minutes, and it's just become a challenge.
I would say that, well, according to what I just read, it's between 150 to 350,000 Scoville for like Thai chili. I always remember that Thai chilies, habaneros, and Scotch bonnets are generally the same level of heat. They're different chilies.
Hmm.
Um, I
Have
think
you had something like this before? Have you had a?
oh yeah,
I
that's what
guess I don't really know what pepper this is made out of.
you've had something like that before because you came to my house and then you accidentally poured probably 20% of the bottle onto a hamburger. Uh,
Yes, I remember this. I
yeah,
guess
that's
I'm my average hot sauce is basically a Tabasco type hot sauce, and I do like the heat, so I can kind of splunk it all over. So I think when I came around your house at a barbecue, I just sort of think everything's maybe a bit hotter than Tabasco. But
so this is bad, but not too bad. It says it's 700,000 Scoville, so it's gonna be twice as hot as a Thai chili, which you can handle. I mean,
twice.
yeah, okay,
That
that is. I think what you had in my house was hotter than this. Let me
all right. Well,
verify.
that's good.
Well, another thing is, when's the last time you had a super hot thing? You know, because
A
you
lot.
lose.
It's been a while.
Yeah, that's another factor. If you haven't had something in a while,
Right? Am I right that hot sauce kills your taste buds, and it's that addiction you can get is basically your body sending like trying to soothe your tongue.
that could be the case.
I mean, I'm
Uh,
sure it kills your taste buds,
yeah, I would think it would kill your taste buds. I do. I get that like kind of rough feeling on my tongue, I
like
guess.
a fuzzy tongue the next day.
Yeah, if I could equate it to an experience I had as a kid, when I was a kid, someone that was watching over me decided to scrape my tongue with the I guess the sharp end of a spoon, if that's a thing. the you know
Okay, just the edge of it.
Yeah, and then it left my tongue feeling really like weird. I guess well, I don't know why I brought that up
So
because
was
it's
it
the
a
same feeling that
dentist?
no, it was like a
Some guy on a bus?
I don't remember. I just remember the experience. I don't remember who it was. It was somebody that was watching over me,
Mm.
like my grandma maybe or my mom.
Did you swear? Was it one of those? I'll wash your mouth out with a soap.
No, I think maybe somebody told him that it'll be, how they say brush your tongue when you brush your teeth. I think
Mm.
it was sort of that, but more worse. I could have also said that when you burn your mouth with coffee, you get that same weird feeling on your tongue.
Like a
But
like
yeah,
a like a numb patch in the middle of.
yeah, exactly. That's a good way to describe it. Yeah, it's kind of just numb. I could still taste stuff, but it's just like this weird feeling.
Mm.
But thankfully, our mouths heal extremely quickly. So it looks like what you had was not as hot. Wait, it's either Dave's insanity hot sauce or I forget what the other name was named, but yeah, I think
I guess they're naming them right. But I guess my fear is, okay, in front of me now, I have some nachos and a bit of cheese and some guacamole. But that one at your house that time, I sort of poured on more than I should. It was at least over a
yeah,
burger, so like per full mouthful, it could mix up. I don't know how that works with that.
I'll
I
be
do
honest.
remember it not kicking in until halfway through the burger, and then thinking something was wrong.
I would say just go light, like use a little bit, because I can't find the reference right now. But if it's anywhere near Dave's Insanity, it just said that Dave's Insanity was about 180 Scoville, which doesn't make sense.
Well, it's good to know I get my money's worth, but I'll be interested to see if it's actually enjoyable or if it's just like you said, it just
Yeah,
burns to the sake of. So now what? Like if you
I,
can't enjoy the food, like regular listeners might know I live in Canada, and I think we've shared this conversation before that it feels like hot food or spicy food, at least compared to the UK and where you're from,
mm-mm.
or at least in Montreal, it feels. And the one time, so when I go to a curry house here, I've asked for a few vindaloos because just to my experience, everything's not as strong as the UK. I don't think I'd ever asked for a vindaloo in the UK. And so I think I had one here, and I'm like, yeah, I was right. It was a good flavorful, but at no point was I like, oh, it's too much to handle. And then I went out with some work friends to this new curry house that someone discovered, and I don't even think I knew half of them. I was like new to the group.
Hmm.
I was like, yeah, I'll get a vindaloo. I had it last time. You know, it's not as hot as it should be, and that's probably the hottest meal I've had because it just something's not right. This is really hot, and it was just like a quick work lunch, and it sort of ended up with me just sweating, trying to eat because I made this big. No, you guys can't really handle your heat out here. Trust me, I'll be fine with the vindaloo. Um,
I think it depends on the cuisine because, like like you said, it's sort of known that Canada doesn't really go with like the general population doesn't really go for super hot food.
right in
Um,
heat, right? Because I guess that's
yeah.
the thing we're talking about. Is the difference between heat and flavor.
But what I can
More heat
say,
doesn't necessarily mean more flavor. I'm guessing, right?
no, definitely not. Like, it's I'll plug my my favorite sauce later. Uh, but the reason I chose this because it has both good flavor and good heat, which is really hard to find. What I was gonna say about depending on the cuisine. So we are known to have, honestly, the Mexican food here is not super spicy. I actually recall having the most spicy hot sauce made at a restaurant, a Mexican restaurant, and that was in Montreal.
Oh, okay.
The chili de arbol, which
The
is
chili de ball.
probably known as arbol's tree, which I don't really know why. They just, I guess the chili itself is just named chili de arbol, and that is at, I'm trying to remember the name of that place.
Is it in Chinatown? Have I been there with you?
No, it wasn't that one. I think it's called El Escondite. You
Okay,
remember
I'll
that
have to
one?
write this down and check it out.
Mm.
I'm not sure I've
It's
been to the bowl one.
so that one has one with something called chili de arbol, and that's pretty legit hot. I
Okay,
like
that
it.
does surprise me. It's just that place is very central. That place is very, I guess, it's a little off the grid by like half a block, but it's still very, I guess, not touristy, but you know.
It feels touristy, but
Mm,
I can say that the tacos are decent and the sauce is pretty damn good. You have to actually ask for it though. They won't just give it to you. Like,
okay, I guess it's the problem of wasting stuff, right? You get people come in.
yeah.
A mutual friend of ours went to some sort of hot wing challenge at was it Hooters?
No, I know the one. I know the one. It's
But it just sounded like you have to order, I don't know, eight, and I think he said he ate one, and his friend had one bite.
it's 12. You have to eat 12 of
12,
them.
right?
It's at, oh man, the name of the pub. It's a pub.
The Gibbons?
McKibbin's. McKibbin's.
Okay.
Yeah, they have the Guinness World Record I don't know how official that is, but it's called the Guinness World Record hot wings. I didn't touch that because
Because he told us about it, and I wanted to go with you, but we
yeah,
never got the time. But it seems like that thing that so many of these challenges restaurants have to deal with is just they're gonna have to waste this, right? I can't imagine most people can go in and eat
yeah.
12 unless you're with 12 people and you each have one.
I guess they do have to expect that it's not gonna be, you know, all consumed unless you have that rare person that can finish all
I
of
guess
it.
you can take it home, but it's again if it's not it's the it's not enjoyable. It's just hot. Where do you go from there? Just
Um,
chop it up into really little bits and spread it over.
that's
Like
sort
a
of what
bunch
I
of
did
rice.
with a burger I had here in San Diego like 4 or 5 years ago. I couldn't finish it at the place, so I ended up eating it on like 2 or 3 other meals. Like it took that long to finish it because it was so hot. I had to sign a waiver for that one actually. Um,
What
and the Guinness wings, I think you
what's the
gotta sign.
waiver?
If
If you
any
don't like
like
it,
injury due to stomach
so it was because I was sort of
stress,
thinking, I guess a gag reaction or getting it in your eyes by mistake, maybe.
that
Um,
too. Yeah, I mean like this stuff can like hurt you if you're not careful, right? Like
but not in the long run, right? Just I felt ropey for it, like our friend who went to the McKibbin's hot wing challenge, another free plug there.
okay.
Just described it as just being like just wiped out for about 10 minutes, right?
Mm.
Like it just, I don't know, almost like I don't want to say getting high or taking a drug hit, but but your senses are just wiped out, but it slowly comes back to you.
When you eat something that hot and you like the only thing you can focus on is how hot whatever you're eating is. You can't really hold
Can't
much of a
carry on.
conversation. Yeah, and it
Mm.
shows in that that hot one show. Once the guest gets to a certain point, you can tell that they're completely distracted by how hot the food is in their mouth, and they can't even focus on the questions anymore. It's really interesting.
What's the hot sauce you have? Tell me about that.
Like I said before, it's called El Yucateco. It's called the triple extra hot sauce. It's mainly habanero peppers that are in it. But like a lot of sauces will say habanero, and then I eat it, and I'm like, okay, that's not too hot or whatever. I would say this is the hottest habanero sauce I've had.
Okay.
I've had others, and it's not just the hottest, but it also tastes the best. This is like the best tasting hot sauce I've ever had. I would say second. Okay, I'll say it says the best bottled hot sauce that I've had. That chili de arbol I had at Escondite was probably the best hot sauce I've had.
Oh, I'll definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, it's really good.
All right.
Starting to miss Montreal now.
I'm gonna give it a shake.
Go for it.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else to talk about in case I can't talk for the next 20 minutes. So we have to call it early.
Give it a smell. I'm curious. What? I'll smell mine too.
I mean, it just smells good. It doesn't sting like
Okay.
it smells strong. But when I've been in say Mexican restaurants and you have like the little jar, what have you, of like the three hot sauces like that. What's that place in Chinatown we go to?
La Capitale.
So they would have like three different colored sauces on the table all the time, right?
Yeah, they would. They would have like the red, the green, and then the really, really hot.
So this smells like it just belongs on that table.
Okay.
Like
Then
this isn't a wincing smell. This is
I would say that it probably is a good tasting sauce. So generally, things taste how they smell. Mine smells like it tastes.
so I've put like I don't know like a healthy pea-sized blob on the plate, and now I'm scooping up guacamole with that. So it's instantly got some kick, which I like.
Okay.
But I guess knowing what I know about hot sauce is it's still growing on me as I speak.
Yeah, you give it some time. It might be what it is now. It might not.
Like it definitely has some flavour. God, here we go. I'm definitely feeling the heat on my tongue.
You feel it in your throat or just the tongue?
Just the tongue,
Okay.
but I'm feeling like I need a drink. Not necessarily to cool it, but just because we're talking, like I can feel, I guess, the saliva and the like a layer in my mouth. Like I want to wash it down. So I'm just gonna have a glass of water.
Go for it.
I think that's pretty good. It doesn't feel okay. My tongue is still burning, but it doesn't feel like it's burning hotter. I feel like I'm slurring a little.
So it must be numbing your mouth a bit.
I guess it just makes me want to saliva up. Is that the right word? Like
Salivate.
lubricate my mouth. Yeah,
Yeah.
to cool it. But that felt like a decent size, and okay, one spoonful, one taste is
Yeah,
fine.
you can put
I
a
can
bit
definitely
more
see
next
going
time.
crazy, like putting it and keep going. Like it piles it up, right? It's not like if you have another one, it's not you've
Yeah,
reached the hotness. You've now put more hotness in your mouth.
it
But
stacks in if I were to use video game terms.
hmm, but I guess I can't really put my finger on the flavor. Smoking Ed's Carolina Reaper. Is that the name of a pepper? Carolina Reaper? No.
Yeah, Carolina Reaper. That's hotter than the ghost pepper. They engineered it to be hotter.
Oh wow.
They crossbreed different types of chilies, and then they come up with one that's hotter. And now there's one that's hotter than that. I think it's the Trinidad Scorpion. Um, don't quote me, but yeah, I mean, for the longest time, everyone was talking about the ghost pepper, right? Like, oh man, ghost pepper's the hottest thing ever, blah blah blah. So that's
have
hotter
you
than
have you
that.
ever have you ever munched on a ghost pepper like raw as it were, or as a
No,
non-sauce? Is that
I
just
have.
crazy?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. There's video of people doing that, and it's not pretty.
I'm going for the second one.
Yeah,
I had a lot more of that second one, and I'm
you feeling it?
definitely feeling it. I guess I'm just getting confident with that first one, and it's not that it stings. It
Stacks.
just feels like that's a good amount I want in my mouth. I want that
Yeah,
again, but let's have some more water, why don't we?
yeah. Like you put some, and then you put a bit more, then it'll be hotter, and then you put a little bit more,
Hmm.
and like it takes time for that first bit to like kind of
Yeah,
calm
you get
down,
a bit
right?
cocky, I guess, and you think you can handle
Yeah.
more than you want to.
This is sort of the sauce that I have now. Like I discovered this one when I was living in Vancouver, and it was a familiar brand. Like I used to get their red and green. It wasn't that great. Like I don't recommend the red or
Ooh,
green one.
sorry, my pouring went big. I got to scrape that off. That's sorry. Carry on.
Oh, it's like you put it on, you gotta eat it, man. That's
No, that's not the rule. It was like
we're gonna
four,
establish this now. This
four,
is the
five
rule.
times bigger than that second one. All right, this is pretty big. This is like it's like a pea and a half.
Okay, that's not much bigger than last
All
time.
right, it's easy to say when you're on the other side, but
Yeah.
I'm going to put some guap with it to cool it down. Yeah, it slowly feels like it's sort of spreading away from the tongue. You know what I mean?
It's not hitting your throat though.
So I think slowly it's making its way down there.
Okay.
I've got a little sort of sweat going on.
So it sounds like it's just spreading like more and
But
more as you eat
at this
more,
level,
right?
it's still in. I think I'm just as we speak passing the level of enjoyment to just burning. I'm gonna have some
Yeah.
water on that one.
And that's the thing about like if you're eating something that you really like, you hit that point where you're like, oh, I can't have any more, but you still want to eat, what you ordered. Like I get that with pho. I'll get to a point where I'm like, okay, it's hurting, but I like the food
Hmm.
so much that I'll still continue trying to eat it while I'm in extreme pain.
Like it's hot sauce or peppers. Wow, give me a minute. It's hot sauce and peppers in soups, like I was saying earlier, that I find I have to struggle with because I guess you're physically getting a hot soup, like it's like the temperature.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I have some more water here. That last one, that was like about pea and a half, 2 peas. That's if I could go more, but that would just be for the sake of reactioning video.
And
I
the
might I
thing
might
about
leave it as that is the size I'm willing to go on one
okay,
matcher.
yeah,
Like
don't go more than a
like
pea and a half.
like going on to the future, if you were having a barbecue, I would put a bit more than that on like a whole burger.
Oh yeah, yeah, spread it
But,
out.
but this is different, right? I guess it's per mouth. Um,
Yeah, one chip is very small,
mm. And the
so
guacamole, the avocado, the guacamole, like instantly soothes, but suddenly dissipates and abandons me. And leaves me
well, the thing
alone.
about capsaicin, which is the hot that the thing that is hot in chilies is capsaicin, and it's usually so when that's why when you drink water or have your ice water or whatever, it actually spreads the oil. Yeah.
Oh.
So you get that relief for that moment that you're drinking
Mm.
it, but then now you've just spread more oil into all over the place in your mouth.
Is
And
that
that's why you
they
can't.
say milk is the best option?
Yeah, because milk will kind of coat or cover up the oil, I guess.
Mm.
Or you could
Oh.
go the Homer Simpson route and drink a candle and then just swallow the pepper. I don't know if you've seen that episode.
I believe so.
It's
Well,
pretty famous.
I'm pretty happy with that. I guess I thought it was going to go two ways. One, that it's got flavor, but it's got no heat. Or the other
Yeah.
one, that it was just insanely hot. This could easily be insanely hot if you're fearless and you're just, you know, lobbing it all over everything.
Yeah.
Like if you watch those videos, what did you call it? Hot challenge.
Hot ones, yeah.
How much are they using per? Is it just cooked in the food so they have no control, or are they literally putting a drop on per bite?
Both. Well, no, that's a lie. They do a drop on at the end, and it's sort of the host will suggest it and say you don't have to do it, but 99 times out of 100, they'll be like, yeah, I'll do it. I have to do it because you're doing it, right?
We're on the show, right? This is what people want to see.
Yeah, and then I think there was one guest that did it to all, like open each bottle and put extra sauce on top, but they'll cook it into the chicken wing
Oh, okay.
or cauliflower wing, I guess, for the vegans on the show.
I'm having some more water over here.
Go for it.
It's not that it's getting hotter; it's just not going away.
I think the thing that a lot of people recommend is like creamsicles because, it's not like you get a drink of milk and then,
Right,
it's gone and then it burns. Like you have like this cold thing that's dairy
It's just
in
soothing you while it's there.
Yeah. So a lot of people will just like put one of those in their mouth and just kind of go, oh man. All right, I'm gonna dive in. Here's the thing: the one I'm eating is my favorite sauce. I eat it all the time. I
Well,
have
you're
to
gonna
be
have to get
careful.
more culinary with us. You're gonna have to be. I feel like, when you sort of do wine tasting, you can sort of, I don't know, dig a bit deep and think, am I getting some nuts in this? Am I getting some flowers, what have you? But I'm getting pepper and I'm getting heat. I don't really know how further to go with describing what I'm getting because I'm just getting a burnt mouth.
Generally, there'll be like tomato paste and like vinegar in a hot sauce. So if you taste any of those things,
I think I can taste the ghost pepper, the Carolina
mm.
pepper. I'm not gonna lie. I imagine if there's tomato in there, it's not winning the war over the pepper.
Okay, I might be a complete liar because my sauce doesn't have either. Well, no, it has tomato sauce. Okay.
I mean, it makes
Right.
sense, right? To just give it some physical substance.
All right, I'm gonna dive in mine. It's got heat on the tongue immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not overwhelming, and that's the problem with the sauce, because you think, oh, well, it's not that hot. I could just keep going, and then before you know it, about 5 minutes in, you're gonna be like, my mouth is on fire.
Oh.
I would say pretty close to probably what you were experiencing, but it takes time to build it up to that level of heat where it becomes a bit intolerable. But yeah, I put a pretty large amount. Like I put maybe 3 or 4 pea size. It's not that, it's not as hot as yours, so I can put more.
Indulge a bit more.
But I couldn't just keep doing this. If I kept putting, the same amount on every chip, like I said, in about 5 minutes, I'm gonna be like, okay, I can't eat for a while. It's starting to build actually. I put a pretty
That's a big one.
large amount. I'll probably be pretty good after this one. Yeah, it's really interesting. It doesn't really feel too hot when you get another bite of it, but then it'll build after you feel it.
I guess you said it takes a while for the oils to spread.
Yeah, maybe that's what's going on. But yeah, this tastes freaking delicious though. Like I've tried a bunch of hot sauces. I'm not saying I tried every single one out there. I probably tried maybe less than 10% of the hot sauces that are out there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it just seems like not necessarily trending, but there's probably a lot of hot sauces out there you can't even get, right? Like entrepreneurial people making them themselves in their own kitchen who are sort of stuck to selling local or. Do you know the history of hot sauce, as it were, or at least from Mexico?
I know chili was originally used sort of as a dessert in a way, because they used, well, maybe not a dessert, but they used to make hot chocolate, unsweetened hot chocolate with and ground chili peppers into it. And I don't know if that's like if they're the first culture to eat A chili? Probably not. I would say maybe China, right? Because they China has
Yeah,
a
I guess
very
everyone came to it themselves, right? Like it's
yeah. I should do my history on that.
like I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure like a lot of particularly flavorful spices in India were to sort of cover the food flavor, right? Like it's a hot country,
Hmm.
and so when food can turn, you can sort of clean it off and cover tastes with stronger tastes, if that makes sense.
Could be. I know a lot of salt was used in food because it preserved the food more.
I'm starting to struggle. I got to be honest. I took another fairly mid big bite, and I guess it feels like it's like you're saying it just sort of piles up.
Yeah, stacks.
Um, I think I've got a tear coming. It's not the first. I'm basically crying, but it's strange because it still feels manageable. I guess it's reminding me of that time I had that curry. It's
The vindaloo.
yeah, it's bordering on like. I mean, in this case, I know I can just stop, but when I was with the Vindaloo, it just felt like I've still got a meal that I kind of want to finish that I paid for.
Yeah, I run into that problem with pho all the time, where I'm like, I gotta finish this, and then like, you know me, I'm a very slow eater, and so I feel a bit rushed too when I'm like, man, my mouth's on fire. I gotta finish this food. Everyone else is done with their meal. But yeah, I think yeah, I didn't finish what I was saying earlier about depending on the cuisine between here and Canada. Pho in Canada is generally sold with Thai chili, which I said is about 300 up to
Hmm.
350 Scoville, 350,000 Scoville. And here in San Diego, it's always been sold with jalapenos, which are considerably less hot. You know,
Is
yeah,
that
come
because
out.
of like availability? Like it's easier to provide the that pepper for just
It's
because your
just
whole
because
area.
it's too hot for the people here.
No, okay.
I last time well, I came home maybe about 3 years ago. I got accustomed to eating Thai chilies with my pho. So I went to a Vietnamese restaurant in San Diego, and they served it with jalapenos, and I was like, "Do you have Thai chili?" And at first they're like, "No, we don't have that here." I'm like, okay, so I'll just eat it with the jalapenos, whatever. And then the guy comes back and he's like, "Are you sure you want that one? It's really hot." I'm like, "Yeah, do you have it?" He's like, "Yeah, we have some it's for us. It's for the chefs because traditionally, like in Vietnam, they eat it with this really hot chili pepper." So he brought some over, and then like it's interesting because like whoever needed to tend to our table, they kept asking me like, "Oh, how is it? Is it hot? Is it hot?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's really hot." And they gave me three, and I could generally handle like one and a half to two of them, but I felt like I had to, if I ordered it, I made such a big deal of to bring it out of the freezer, right?
You
So
kind of wanted to prove them wrong.
I think I put the third one in a napkin and saved it for later. What I
I'm done.
usually get.
I'm done this side. I feel like I don't know if there's hot sauce conventions, if that's such a thing, but I feel like
There probably is one.
okay, I'm done for a few hours. You cleanse your palate with the hot sauce.
Yeah, you have to just give it time for the oil to dissipate, I guess.
I guess it feels like I just want to keep refreshing my mouth. Like I'll have a drink of water and I'll feel good, and it will just slowly come back, slowly like it's coating the inside of my mouth. So I need to sort of reset it again, and then the further the point from the water, the hotter it's getting. And I
I
have
think
to just
your only help is going to be time, buddy. That's the only thing I know that fixes that.
well, I have
You
some of
could
that.
have your
So yeah,
milk, you could have your what do you call that? Your creamsicle, but
it's all a
you
bit
know
superficial.
still gotta wait the 30 minutes. Yeah, necessarily
what
have
are
to.
what are some of your favorite restaurants at the moment
Um,
in San Diego?
In and Out for sure. Yeah, In and Out Burger. It's just ask anybody from California. And there's arguments to say that Shake Shack's better. I can say they probably use better ingredients because
Mm.
the
Outside of In and Out and franchises, what's good eating at the moment?
we have a lot of fast food, a lot of Mexican.
Just
Uh,
for the listeners, Mark's returned home
hmm,
to live after a 5, 6, 7 year hiatus.
10 year.
10 year, like you've been back, but you're living back in
Yeah,
Estonia
I
now.
decided to be with family during this crazy time in the world. But I'm noticing I find really good food in certain cities. You can't have it all when you're at one place because you're gonna be missing that stuff out.
Right, right.
So Chinese food in San Diego, I guess I never really ate a lot of it here, but now that I'm trying to find some food, it's all kind of just bland. So it's not really very good. Whereas in Montreal, most of the places I go for Chinese food are pretty decent. And then I've been on a mission to find some good Thai restaurants here.
How's your mouth doing now?
My math?
Your
Math?
mouth.
My
How's
math
your
list.
mouth?
So I was doing some calculations, so I was like, oh, I guess it's okay. Mouth's doing okay. Still kind of hot because I went a bit. I figure since we're doing the show, I might as well go, a bit more than what I
Go
would
all in.
usually. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I didn't just douse my food in the hot sauce, but I put probably maybe twice as much as I would normally put.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So yeah, I'm feeling it.
Yeah, I think like, but now I'm like, I'm at a good low burn. Like this whatever is going on with me now, this feels like a good level. Like you said, I think I was watching some YouTube fails or something, and there was a news reporter who was talking to some farmers with some ghost peppers, and he just nonchalantly, I guess not, just thinking it would be hot, but it's just food. How bad can it be? Just took a massive bite out of a pepper live. Like
I
he was
think
just
I've
talking
seen
to them
that
about
one.
this pepper, and then just carries on, like oh blah blah blah, blah. And then just sort of like oh god, how long will this last? And they're like half an hour, maybe an hour. He's like what? How long? And then it just breaks down. And
This whole, I don't know. Some people would go a bit extreme with the hot sauce and stuff. There's I forget which company did it, but they actually sold pure capsaicin, like crystals, like down to its like essential.
is that like the purest form of the
Yeah,
heat? That's
like
just the
it's
heat, like strip the flavor, just the heat or something.
yeah, like you can't get hotter than this because it is, you know, it's the essence of
Mm.
what makes things hot. And people were like, "Oh, I'll just put some of this on my tongue," and you can watch the reaction videos to it. It's
Mm.
yeah, and I'm like, why does it have to come to this?
Yeah,
you
I mean,
know,
I guess that's not necessarily TikTok, but this sort of quick reaction, for the gram, for the likes.
yeah, I think it's actually toxic if you consume too much of pure capsaicin, if I'm not mistaken, which is just like
I
I
mean,
don't know.
not necessarily kids, but kids are doing like Tide Pods, right?
That's true.
So anything else is kind of a given, as it were.
Yeah.
Anyway, next week, me and Mark will be doing the cinnamon challenge.
Or was it the marshmallow one? Fluffy puff mouth thing?
I don't think what's
I
that
forget
one?
what it's called.
That sounds like a good one. I like
Fluffy
marshmallows.
bunny, I think. Yeah, you have to fit as many marshmallows into your mouth and then still be able to say the words fluffy bunny, I think.
Oh, okay. I guess I don't know. Like the cinnamon one and that one sounds like it revolves around a lot of get to the point where you have to spew it out.
Yeah, let's do all the crazy challenges. Tide Pod, too? Let's do that.
Hey, it's getting close to closing time here at the Dogeared Cafe, so we're going to wrap it up. Thanks for listening, and have a great day.